Praise the Holy One of Israel. Thank the Holy One of Israel for delivering me from the power of Satan. Everybody who tries to commit suicide is because the enemy, Satan, wants us to die, wants us to forfeit our life, so we won't have eternal life. But we thank the Most High, whoever delivered us, not whoever, but we thank the Most High for delivering us from the power of the devil who was too strong for us. I have a friend who attempted suicide like 5 times within 1 year, back to back. Another one, matter of fact, 2 that attempted suicide back to back. She just told me. But we just thank the Lord for delivering us from the power of Satan, who is too strong for us. So I just felt led to share my testimony today, because it was a powerful day when it happened. I wish I could remember everything that happened, but I can't at the moment. But I have a lot that I do remember. And I prayed before I made the video to see if the Lord will remind me of all the things that happened that I could remember. But I just remember that one day I woke up one day. It was around May 2013. I never thought about attempting suicide before that day happened. I just woke up one day, and all of a sudden, I wrote like a letter, not a suicide letter, but I just wrote a letter that I thought could change the whole world. And I wrote it, and I went to put it on Facebook. And then all of a sudden, my room was a little junky, so I couldn't find it. After I wrote it, I put it somewhere. Then when I came back in my room, I couldn't find it. Then I'm not sure if I ever found it, but I think I did. And I went to the I remember going to the library, because I needed to get some fresh air. And I went to the library, and then I think I found the letter, and I went to the library to type it up. And then all of a sudden, I remember my mind wasn't fully stable, but I just remember a 3 or 4 year old child. He ran up to me and called my name 3 times. I never seen him a day in my life. And I thought that was just so weird. It kind of scared me out, spooked me out, because I'm like, why would a child call my name 3 times? And I never seen a child a day in my life. And I know about spiritual stuff, but I just didn't know what that meant. So I didn't really know what to do. I didn't know what to do about it. And then I think I actually typed it up on Facebook, but I don't remember. But all I know is there was a security guard that I knew inside the library. His name was Curtis, and before I left, he told me, or while I was leaving, he said, whatever you go through, whatever you do, don't stop serving God. From that day to this day forward, I still remember that, and I'm still strong serving the Lord, even though it's type hard because the enemy is attacking me bad, but I'm still going to keep serving the Lord no matter what I go through. So, after I left the security guard, after he told me that in good encouragement, I went to go to the waters, not to attempt suicide, but I want to go to the waters just to relax. So I like to go to the waters and just sit by the waters. So I wanted to make a decision to either go to the waters or go home. While I'm walking to the waters, the winds are so furious. I don't know why, but the winds were so furious, and it started like drawing me back towards my mother's apartment. And then I'm thinking, like, what the heck is going on? Because I see a lot of things spiritual, not just the physical. Just because we see something happening, some things have spiritual aspects to it. But the winds was drawing me back. It was like so strong. It was like drawing me back towards my mother's apartment. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, dang, where should I go? Should I go back to my mother's apartment, or should I go to the waters? So to sum it up, I ended up going to the waters. And before I went to the waters, I look in the sky, and the clouds were so bright. It was like the brightest clouds I ever seen, so glorious. It was just so bright. And then all of a sudden, Beyonce's song Halo come through my mind. I did not hear it like nobody was playing it through their car. I heard it in my ears. I know it sounds weird, but like I said earlier, many things are spiritual that's not physical. It might happen physical, but it's spiritual. So it played in my ears, but it was not outside of me. Like it was not in nobody's car or nothing like that. So I'm like, what the heck? That's just demonic. Like, I'm going through mental issues, and then I hear her song playing through my mind, and then all of a sudden I just go towards the water. And then as I get to the waters, I'm just relaxing, feeding the birds. And then I'm just relaxing, feeding the birds, and then all of a sudden I was doing something to where I found these I think there was Hindu idols. There was idols of Hinduism, and I brought them home. I took them to my mother's apartment. So let me sum it up. So then I just went home or whatever. I brought them into my mother's apartment, which those is idols, and we're not supposed to bring those into our home. We become cursed like unto it, God said. So I brought those into my mother's apartment, and then let me see what happened. Oh, before I even left my apartment, going back to earlier, I walked out my mother's apartment and I looked down on the floor, and it was 2013 that year. But when I looked on the floor, I seen a penny, and it was so shiny, so clear, and it said 2016, and remember that was 2013. So I'm like, it blew my mind. I'm like, what the heck is going on? Why am I seeing a 2016 penny in 2013? I know many people probably gonna say that's crazy, but I know what I seen, I know what I remember, and that was just ridiculous to see that. So, what else happened? Oh, I remember later on that day, I was going away from my mother's apartment, and I was going somewhere else. No, that's when I was going to attempt suicide. That was later on that day. But I was going away from my mother's apartment, and I seen my brother, and I seen my ex-landlord. They was across the say I'm on this side of the street, and they on this side. They across the street by the apartment. I'm going this way, and they going back this way towards the house, the apartment or whatever. And they asked me. I think my brother asked me. He said, "Where am I going?" But both of them heard me. He said, "Where am I going?" I said, "I'm going home." Mind you, this scared me because I'm like, how? I mean, he asked me where I'm going. I said, I'm going home. And they going actually home, which is on the same side of the street where they was at. So, mind you, I keep walking. Then I just get scared. I'm like, why didn't they say something? Why didn't they say something? They could have helped me. I thought they could have helped me at least. They was like, they just kept walking. I know my brother was smoking weed at that day, but it was just a scary day for me. And I'm like, why didn't they say something? Why they just let me go home when I was going away from home? But anyways, what else happened that day? Oh, around that same time, I went to see a psychic, a witch. Because I was seeking God at that moment, but I was seeking God in the wrong places. And when I went to see the psychic, I spent so much money with this lady, and we're never supposed to see psychics because they are evil. They are listening to demonic spirits, pretending to be good spirits or angels. So when I seen the psychic, she told me something. She said that she said your dad got this lady pregnant, and the lady did some witchcraft on him and put something in his stomach, an evil root. And she said, in order for it to come out, you have to of course pay some money. And she told me she said she gave me an egg, and she said wrap it up in like 7 paper towels and put it under your bed, and then bring it back, I think 7 days later, something like that. And then I brought it back to her, and then she prayed over it, and then all of a sudden she cracked it, and then a hairy root came out of it. that came out of the egg. So I didn't know nothing about witchcraft and evil stuff. So I was so vulnerable at that time, and something very wicked came out of that egg. But I didn't know nothing about evil or witchcraft. So she scammed me out of money. Then the last day I came to her house, and I ended up let me just sum it up. I went to her house with my garment on, my white garment on, because I went all in. I went all in because I was like, let me not play with this lady, because I knew she was evil after I found out. I forgot what I found out, but I just knew something wasn't right with her. Matter of fact, it was this guy that I was watching on YouTube named the 13th Son. He was talking about witches, and then he's like, what he was talking about, it was exposing her, because he was talking about psychics or something like that. So I went with her with my all white garment on, and then she tried to cast a spell on me. She had, when I walked up the stairs, she had she had 3 children in a room. She had a chair. As soon as I walked up the stairs, there was a chair right there, and she had a big tall mirror right next to the chair, and it was right in front of the chair. And she said, "I want you to sit here." She said, "I want you to sit here." I said, "No, I'm okay. I don't want to sit here. I want to sit where I usually sit." Because all in my spirit, through the power of God, I knew something was very evil about that lady when she wanted me to sit in that chair right in front of the mirror. She never had a mirror there in my life when I went there in the past. So I went. No, I kept saying I don't want to sit there. She was like, "No, I want you to sit there." I said, "No, I'm okay. I'd rather sit there." She said, the couch is little. Got stuff on the couch." I said, I'm okay. I'm okay." So I sat on the couch. And then she had one child on the couch crying. She had one child next to the mirror in a chair, flashing a red laser towards me. And she had another baby, but one baby crying. Yeah. Then when the baby was crying, I put my hand on the baby's head, and immediately the baby stopped crying. And then I wanted her to watch this video, and she seemed like she tried to make an excuse not to watch it. And all of a sudden, like, she said her volume wasn't working. So I said, "You got headphones?" She said, "Yeah." She put the headphones in. She had it in one ear, I had it in my ear. All of a sudden, as soon as I turned it on, I felt the evil spirit so strong, so strong. I felt it so strong to where I just she had a big round table right next to us. I lifted up that table and flipped it over, and I took her phone and I ran out her place of business. And then I just ran home. And I was just so scared, man. That day was just so scary too, because it was some very evil. She tried to cast a spell on me, but it didn't work, because the power of God is so strong. God is stronger than every demon. And what else happened that day? Oh, around that night, I think that was the same night I attempted suicide. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think it is, because I told somebody. But I met this a guy. He was doing some painting on his house, and I started talking to him. And to sum it up, he turns out to be a cop and a preacher, pastor. So we started talking for like 30 minutes to an hour. So I started telling him what I was going through, telling him that I'm trying to attempt suicide. And he encouraged me not to, because Jesus Christ died for us. But I wasn't really trying to attempt suicide for no reason. I was trying to sacrifice. I was trying to so-called sacrifice myself, like Jesus Christ sacrificed himself for people. Even though I wasn't even a firm believer in Jesus Christ, I was so deceived by this devil, so strong. So I told him that I wanted to sacrifice myself like Jesus Christ and hang myself. At first, I wanted to hang myself, put it on, and record it. And then I said I want to go in the water and drown myself. But he kept encouraging me, telling me not to do it, because Jesus Christ already sacrificed himself for us. But I couldn't understand at that moment, because I wasn't a believer. And then I remember my brother came, and he heard what we was talking about, and he started crying. And then I remember he walked away. And then what else happened that day? Oh, and then my uncle died that same week that I attempted suicide. So I was thinking that they was probably trying to sacrifice us. And I remember that night, the same night when I was talking to the cop and the preacher, and then my brother came and he left after the preacher kept talking to me for like 30 minutes, trying to encourage me not to do it. The demons are so strong on me, so strong where I couldn't even understand what he was saying. To where I just right after I left from him, he prayed for me, and then all of a sudden, it's like the demons got so strong, and then I went to go attempt suicide. So before I went to the waters, I seen a lady, and I touched her left arm and said, "You have the power." And her whole body shivered, and a white light flashed through her whole body like a Christmas tree. And she just backed away, and she just walked away and didn't say nothing to me. I didn't say nothing to her. Then I went to the waters. I walked all the way to the waters that night, and I went into the waters. But before I even went to the waters, I was talking to God. I was like, "God, I don't want to do this, but I didn't know what to do." I just like, "God, I don't want to do this." And then I was seeing lightning flash through the sky that night, and I went to the waters, and then there was a gigantic rock. It was probably like 400 pounds, probably more than that. And I held on the rock with my left hand, and I went down in the water with my right hand like this, and I went down. Then when I couldn't breathe no more, I just went, and I got up out the water. And to be honest, I felt like I was baptized. Not gonna lie, I felt like I was truly baptized. And I felt weird because my body went to shock mode. And now to think about it, the rock was Jesus Christ that saved me. I held on the rock. Jesus Christ is symbolized as the rock of our salvation. And he saved me that day from the destruction of Satan that tried to kill me. But too bad it didn't work, because God is more powerful than Satan. Even when I wasn't seeking God the right way, God still had my back. That's the power of God. That's the love of God. He loves us so much that he don't want us to die and go to hell. He saved me from attempted suicide. That's the first and last time I attempted suicide. Because I never wanted to attempt suicide. I wasn't going through depression. I mean, I probably was depressed, but I wasn't going through something that I wanted to attempt suicide. Just the devil deceived me so bad, and God allowed him to have his way for a minute, but he delivered me from the power of Satan. So I just encourage everybody to seek God through Jesus Christ, through the Bible, because they're the only way that can give us freedom and save us from the power of the devil. I just ask everybody to pray every day, because Jesus Christ is the only way to the Father. And there's hope in Jesus Christ's name. There's hope in Jesus Christ's name. I pray that everybody be blessed by this testimony. I pray that you share this testimony that can help others who's going through suicidal mentalities right now. In the mighty name of Jesus Christ, amen.